morning, everyone. In case you don't know me, my name is Raye Reeder. I am 17 years old and I'm a senior at Shawnee High School. And as of today, I graduate in a month, so I'm really excited. But I've been attending UBC for 16 years, so as long as I remember, I've been in this church. There was one thing I could always count on as a child when interacting with my mother. On the occasion that I would return home from school, always dramatically and frequently tearfully, telling her about someone who had mistreated me, or said this or said that and really upset me, my mom would, of course, comfort me, calm me down, patiently listen to my side of the story, and then pose the dreaded question. Well, have you considered the other person's side of the story, Raye? Naturally, this upset me even more. I can recall many a time in middle school when I would retort with a frustrated, "Mom, can't you just take my side for once?" To which she would calmly respond, "Most of the time, Raye, there really aren't sides, just perspectives. And sometimes it really helps if we consider both of these perspectives." As I look back on those instances, I still don't fully appreciate it, and by the way, she continues to do that every time I'm upset. I understand a little bit better how that sense of considering others, a sense of fair play, in some way, is at the heart of social justice, which is what I want to talk with you about today. The theme for today's youth-led service is that of social justice. This is an issue that remains as pertinent within our society today as it was during Christianity's beginnings. As I said earlier, I believe that social justice is a fairly simple idea. Social justice may, in its most rudimentary form, be about fairness. There will always be two sides to our story, rich and poor, powerful and weak, the oppressed and the marginalized. The seemingly simple concept of social justice, however, is currently muddled by the political commentary of our time. What should be a normal part of the human existence and our interactions with one another has been complicated and oftentimes even demonized through the politicalization of such terms as socialism and even social justice itself. As evidence to this fact, in prepping for this talk today, searching for background information on the internet was nearly impossible due to the fact that all my queries concerning social justice ended with a list of websites and resources that equated the movement to communism rather than a Christ-centered mission. The concept of social justice in the context of Christianity is, or rather, should be, a simple one. As Christians, we have been called to serve the poor, the oppressed, and the marginalized. Of course, what we call poor at times may not actually be poor at all. There are those who live in humble circumstances that are rich beyond measure. The genuinely poor are those robbed of the ability to make choices for themselves. The choice for safe and clean water, the choice of an education, the choice of protection from abuse, the choice of medical care, and more. The poor around us can be as obvious as those that we help at Family Promise, or as subtle as the friend who quietly hides the abuse she receives from her boyfriend. As Jesus quoted from the scriptures when he was tempted in the desert, "Man cannot live on bread alone. Our help must not only come in the form of monetary support, but in prayers and comfort." In a quote from a 2006 U.S. prayer breakfast, Bono, lead singer of U2 and longtime advocate for the destruction of poverty, stated that, "It's no coincidence that in the scripture poverty is mentioned more than 2,100 times. It's not an accident. That's a lot of airtime, 2,100 mentions. You know, the only time Christ is judgmental of the poor is when he says, 'As you have done it unto the least of my brethren, you have done it unto me.'" Matthew 25:40, King James Version. As I say, good news to the poor. Pitted against a decidedly Christian and universally good concept, however, is a society based upon commercialism and the possession of wealth and worldly goods as an indication of character and quality of life. We live in a society of benign neglect as we struggle to break free from a mass consumption in the face of poverty that we have followed our entire lives. In fact, this system of benign neglect can be seen within the priorities of the powers that be, both in this country and in other countries of power. According to the Borgen Project, a nonprofit group projecting costs over the next 10 years, it would take $21 billion to shelter everyone in the world, a mere $5 billion to eliminate illiteracy, $21 billion to provide health care to everyone, and $10 billion to provide safe, clean water to everyone in the world. That gives us a total of $57 billion to eliminate nearly all the causes of oppression within today's society. However, at 8:57 p.m. on Friday, April 23, 2010, the total cost of both the war in Iraq and the war in Afghanistan was $986,299,811,944 for the U.S. alone. The cost continues to increase by the second. As the saying goes, you put your money where your mouth is. What we choose to spend on our money says a lot about what we value and our priorities within our society.